Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library here in Sylacauga. I want to thank Robert and TV47 for allowing us this time to have this program and let you know about events and things going on in the community and things going on at the library. Today, what prompted this program, we're talking about financial responsibility with children, and joining me today is Russell Scruggs and Donna Brown from Renasant Bank here in Sylacauga and Childersburg, also both of them, right?
Yes. Yes.
So thank y'all so much for joining me today.
Pleasure to be here.
I appreciate
Thank you for
it.
having us.
Great. What prompted the program is one of our ladies downstairs at the library found a program called Money as You Grow Bookshelf. And we have several, well, the books that we already have at the library, things like A Chair for My Mother, Ox Cart Man, books like that we already have, and she found some parent reading guides to go with the books, and they are wonderful to teach children about money and how to spend money, how to save money, how to handle money, which are great. I'm going to go over these a little bit more as we talk, but as I thought about that, I thought there's other ways to teach children about money. These are wonderful, and I know Donna had told me one time that y'all go into the schools to teach about money, so I was really wanting to have you guys on to talk about that some. But first, tell about yourself so we'll know who you are and why you're here today.
Okay.
Well, I'm Russell Scruggs. I've been with the bank for 30 years. I started out at First National of Sylacauga, and then moved up to Chelsea, did some construction lending. So my expertise is more or less in commercial lending, and when I go out into the schools and teach, it's primarily maybe the older students, and just maybe talking about buying their first car, perhaps. So
that's important. That's very important.
That's very important. Yes.
Yes, right.
Yes, and my name is Donna Brown. I'm the branch manager with Renasant Bank here in Sylacauga, and I have been with the bank for 15 years. And like Russell, I do go into the schools, mostly maybe the elementary age children, but I do go and speak with the teenagers, and so we just try to give them a little information to maybe help them be responsible with their money.
That is great. I think when I was getting ready for this program, I looked up the word or the term financial responsibility. That refers to the process of managing money and other similar assets in a way that is considered productive and is also in the best interest of the individual or the family or the business company. And I know it is you're never too young to begin to learn this. So Donna, you said you go into the schools with the younger children,
yes,
right?
Mostly.
What kind of things do you teach? Kindergarten, first, second, third, those grades?
Well, we do a variety of things. Sometimes we will do crossword puzzles with the kids, but we just start out by talking with them about how they make and get money. What are their means of getting money? You know, whether it is, you know, a birthday gift or grandparents giving that gift just because they love that sweet grandbaby.
Right.
A lot of times they do tell us that they do chores. So, you know, that's a great avenue. So we begin talking about what they need to do with that money.
Okay. Now, do you have the banks that are save, spend, give? Now you've added
Invest. Yes.
My girls had the save, spend, and give, and actually probably still have them, and they are wonderful. Talk about that as being a good way to help your children learn.
Well, we do. Sometimes we'll set out piggy banks, and we talk about saving a little bit when they receive that birthday money or that gift for making good grades. Take a little bit of that money, put into their savings jar, and then you take a little bit of that money and put into your donate jar. That's very important. We talked a little bit about investing, but with the younger children, that just seems to, you know, maybe not be so important at that time to them, and they're not really sure about it. And then we talk about spending, and that's when they really get excited.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
They do.
Because I know we've all gotten money for our birthday and think, oh, I'm going to go spend every dime of this.
Yes, that is correct.
But learning to wait and to save is so important.
And we talk about setting goals, whether they're short-term goals or long-term goals. We talk about, you know, once they decide what they want to spend their money on, Then we talk about they may have to wait a little while if it's expensive. If they want to buy that new game, you know, that's on the shelves, those are a little expensive, so they can put that money in either in their bank account or in a jar. They watch it grow, and then once they get enough money, then it's time to go and buy that toy.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, I know, Russell, you said you talk with older kids, so buying that toy sometimes means buying a car. Kind of the same thing.
Well, that
yeah.
toy's a little more expensive in my
Yes,
age group,
yeah.
yes. But it's sort of the same principles there. I probably start with setting a budget, maybe as a starting place.
Okay.
It's not so much how much money you make, but how much money you spend. And so learning to manage our money wisely.
Yes, it's a hard thing for children and even a hard thing for adults. Maybe we didn't learn it as children. Maybe that's why. Well, I said you're never too young, and I know you're teaching things that kids can understand at the age they're in. You have a great coloring book. Is that right?
Yes, we do.
This is fun.
Got some great activities in there. It's got some crossword puzzles and things like that, and unjumble the words, and that just gives them a little opportunity to learn a little bit about coins, how to spell them.
Oh, yes.
That's a big thing, but it also, to me, I think it enhances their mathematical skills as well.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's great. And this goes home.
Yes, it goes home with them.
And
Yes,
the
ma'am.
parent can learn too.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, I know part of what we have at the library, we have something called STEAM kits, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. I had to stop and think what the STEAM is. They're available for homeschool parents and for school teachers. One of them is about money, and one of them this one has the game Managing My Allowance, and this is great because it encourages kids to, you know, maybe you're going to buy these jeans regularly, they're $25, but on sale they're 20, you know, so it's a board game, but it has things like that. You're learning to manage that, you know, your tennis racket broke, you know, you have to buy a new one. Maybe you're on the tennis team, or, you know, you lost $5 something, or you earned $5 by babysitting or whatever. So this is wonderful. It's not just, the kit does involve learning coins, quarters, how much they're worth, and nickels and dimes, and making change, and those skills are very important in what you're learning when you're younger. But as you get a little bit older, you want to learn a little bit more how to manage your money. And that's what the game is. We've had some folks tell us this was so much fun. They enjoy playing it with their kids. So if you are a homeschool parent or a teacher, I would encourage you to come by and get that kit. You can check them out for a week or two. We'll have to just see what it does when we check everything out. But they are wonderful and available for people to check out. We're going to pause for a commercial break, and we'll be right back and talk a little bit more with Russell and Donna.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Silicaga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Silicaga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Silicaga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Donna Brown and Russell Scruggs from Renasant Bank, and we're talking about how to teach children about money. Children, students, older youth, young adults about money. And you guys go into the schools or Bridges programs, other places, any other places you go, or mainly just the schools?
Mainly schools and the Bridges programs, but we'll go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
We've gone to the Housing Authority and talked with adults as well.
Okay.
So they're very receptive to that also.
That's great. You're never too young and you're never too old to learn about how to deal with, how to take care of your money, how to be financially responsible. Maybe that's the words I'm looking for. I know a lot of us adults could still learn a lot of that. Needs versus wants. I know you talk about that with kids.
We do. When we go in, we ask them a good bit about what they think is needs and what they think is wants, and they're very receptive to that, and they're very intelligent. They give us great responses, but then we start talking about their wants a little bit more. So that they can learn to save some money once they get allowance or they do chores. They'll give us a lot of information about what they do to earn money so that they can buy those items that they really are excited about, whether it's a new pair of shoes. You know, those tennis shoes cost a little bit of money these days.
They do.
So they're very receptive to what we're talking about. They understand that they do most often need to wait just a little bit before they receive the item that they want. They will do chores around the house, and so they will put their money in their piggy bank or their jar at home. And then we also encourage them to maybe open up a bank account at their financial institution.
Oh, good.
And we talk a little bit about how the banks will pay them interest, and they can watch their money grow. And we've also given just like a little transaction register. We've gone through that with some of the students as far as making deposits, withdrawals, and adding back that interest that they've earned on their account.
Oh my goodness, I can remember as a little girl depositing $5 every month or so and just thought I was rich. But I loved seeing it in that transaction register. This was a long time ago. They would print it out, you know, and it would grow by $5, and I was so proud, you know, that I had that much money, and used it to help buy a car when I graduated from high school. So I was very proud of that car. Very proud that I was able to help with that. And I think children, I know when they're spending their own money, speaking from my daughters, I remember we would go shopping for clothes and I would say, okay, this is how much money we have. And anything above that you buy yourself. And boy, that would be Allison's favorite shirt because she bought it with her own money.
That's a great point. It really
was,
is. I mean, everybody needs a pair of shoes, but they want a pair of Nikes.
Yes.
And those are typically more expensive, so it goes back to the needs versus wants. So maybe that's a pair of pants you're referring to.
Right, that's true. If they bought it with their own money, they take a little better care of it. And maybe we do too, as adults too. And what about debit cards? I know, do kids, you have to teach them really, it's real money. It's still, I mean, you know, there's money behind all those debit cards and credit cards.
I hear a lot about that with the kids, and I've even heard my nieces and nephews, you know, say, well, just put it on the card, just swipe your card. But you also have to make sure that they understand that there's money in the bank. You have to have money in the bank before you can swipe that card. So we do talk about the use of debit cards. We talk about credit card use as well, and especially with the teens that are in high school.
Right.
And that is something that they're very interested in, but we also try to teach them to be very careful with their credit cards and the use of that, because there's fees attached and interest that you have to pay. So they're a little shocked when they see that. Right. But of course, you know, that is a necessary evil sometimes.
It is. Now, what about car loans, student loans? I think you mentioned talking to older students about.
Well, yes, it's never too early to learn about financial responsibility. So, you know, if we go back to the grade school about saving, as you mentioned earlier, for your first car, it's always good to have a rainy day. But again, starting with a budget, starting with a job, putting the income in a savings account or checking account, and then getting some money saved for a down payment on a car. And then, Donna, what's the age for an adult to buy a car? Is it 19 now? 19 by yourself.
Yes,
That's
19.
right.
Must be 19.
So you can't go buy a car at 16 just because you turned 16.
That's good. That's great.
But anyway, going back and setting a budget, learning that money does not grow on trees, and learning how to just balance the debit cards, the checking accounts, and savings accounts. So.
I don't know if people keep a check register anymore. It's just all on the card. So teaching them really, just because you look and see your balance on your phone, that might not necessarily, there may be some things outstanding.
And that is the part that we have a hard time with sometimes, even with our adult clients. They need to understand that if they've called in a phone payment or gone online and have done a bill payment, and that may not have come through yet. It may not have come through on their bank account, so they have to take that into consideration as well.
That is great. Well, we were talking about saving, putting your money aside and saving it for a car or whatever. One of the books that I have is called A Chair for My Mother. This is a great story. The family has lost everything in a fire. It's a grandmother, a mother, and a little girl. They have lost everything, but all their neighbors get together and help them. So what you want necessarily doesn't come with money. It comes from people being very generous. And I think it will teach us to be generous too. They have donated lots of things, tables, utensils to eat with, things like that, but they don't have a big comfy chair for Mother to sit in. And Mother works very hard, and they want her to have a nice, I think she works 2 jobs, they want her to have a nice soft chair. So they get a clear jar. And they start saving their pennies and their coins and things like that. And it takes them a long time. Then they go by, and it's a used chair, but they want maybe a bright red, flowery chair, but they save their money and go buy it. And they celebrate because they are so excited about what they've done. And I think that's a great way. One of the ideas in the book is to get a clear jar to save. You can watch it grow. They can see how much, maybe they're not counting it every day, but they can see the money grow. A small child can see it grow, and then once they've bought the chair, they celebrate and have a great time. So I think that's fun for us to do. If you're saving for something large or small, or as one person or maybe as a family, you're saving to, when you reach that goal, have a party or something. Just celebrate. I don't know, something to.
Yes. Go to dinner or have some cake. That's a great way to celebrate.
You don't want to just save and save and save. And I guess when you're teaching young children, you don't want something that you have to save 3 years for. You want to be able to save for something pretty short term so they can see the success there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Whether it's a baseball mitt or glove, or if they need some new tap shoes.
Yeah, that's great. We're going to pause for another commercial break, and we'll be right back and talk some more with Russell and Donna.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Silicaga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Silicaga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Silicaga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell talking with Donna Brown and Russell Scruggs from Renasant Bank. We're talking about financial responsibility. I started to say just with students or children, but it's really with everyone, financial responsibility. We've talked about how it is never, you are never too young or too old to learn about it, to learn how to be financially responsible. And I think learning it as a student or as a young child, hopefully you'll carry that on through the rest of your life,
Yes.
which is the goal.
That is the goal. That's what we're hoping for, just to give them a little bit of information that will just spark their interest and want to be responsible later on.
Right, that's great. Now you suggest they open a checking and or a savings account. About what age, or I know it maybe depends, about what age would you suggest they do something like that?
Just at any time, you can open a savings account for a child when they are very, very young. And a lot of times we do have grandparents that open these accounts for their babies, and they put money in as they go. And I don't know if it's special occasions, or we had one grandmother that set it up that her grandchildren got a certain amount every single month.
Oh, wonderful.
So when they graduated from high school, they had a little bit of money to go to college with. So that was fantastic. We've had folks to invest in CDs for their grandchildren or their children, for them to have when they get a little older, whether they buy a car with that money or they take it to college with them.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a wonderful thing for grandparents to leave their grandchildren too.
Absolutely.
And I know today, my children are grown now, but when they were younger, they had enough toys. They had plenty of toys, I know.
Absolutely.
And grandparents love to give toys, but how nice to give that money, because I know when they're older, they will really, really appreciate it, buying that car or going to school, things like that. We talked about setting goals, maybe short-term goals or long-term goals, like cars. Short-term goals, like maybe that new pair of tennis shoes.
Absolutely.
Or something like that.
Trip to Disney World, the
Right.
beach, something like that.
That's a whole family goal that you can enjoy and celebrate. That's great. Yeah, I think it's important to do it together as a family too. I mean, each child can have their own particular goals and things they're saving for, but as you're saving as a family, that's nice. I know the other book that I was talking about a little while ago was The Ox Cart Man. This is an older book, but it's a great story about a family working together, earning money. The son carves brooms with a borrowed knife. The daughter knits mittens from the wool that was sheared from their sheep. The mother is making syrup and she's making shawls. The father is digging potatoes and things like that. They do all of this. The father loads it in the cart, takes it to town, walks 10 days to town, sells everything, and then he buys other things. He buys a knife for the son who's used a borrowed knife. He buys a needle for the daughter who embroiders on the material, and something for the mother and things like that, and some little sweets they're going to enjoy, so something fun. And then he comes back and they start that cycle all over again. So the whole family contributes. Here it's contributing to their life, but I think the whole family can contribute to trips to Disney World, out to eat dinner, things like that. So
Yes, and a great thing about that is you're also setting a budget. Even if you do it for yourself or for the whole family, setting a budget and trying to figure out if you're going to have enough money to take care of what you need to do.
Right. I guess you might say we would like to go to Disney World, but maybe your budget says we need to go to Six Flags, which can be just as much fun if you have set that goal and you've reached it. That's great. All right. We also talked about playing Monopoly, how that is a little bit, I know it's hard to teach about investing, but how is that helpful? It's the buying and selling land in Monopoly.
Well, it starts out with learning the different currency denominations.
Yes.
I don't think they have $1 bills, but maybe they do. It's been a while since I've
It's been a while,
played. Yes, but just learning about the value of money, and actually, you buy different pieces of real estate. I think a Park Place, for example, was very expensive,
yes.
and maybe was it Tennessee Avenue,
One of
maybe a
the-
little more affordable there. So
Right.
you sort of get into the wants versus needs aspect as well.
That's good. And that's a fun way just to learn how to do that. What mistakes do you see as our society, mistakes that we make? Maybe we didn't learn this as a child, or we didn't practice, or we don't practice what we've learned with money. What are some of the biggest mistakes, and what can we do to correct them?
Donna?
I know that's kind of a vague, a broad question.
Well, I'll jump in, I think. I think the biggest thing is just not managing your checkbook. If everyone would just manage their checkbook, whether through a check register or online, way to keep up with it, you would stay out of so much trouble. The banks are in it to make money, of course.
Sure.
But being overdrawn on a checking account is a lot like a speeding ticket. It's unavoidable.
Right.
There's other ways for us to make money. That's that's probably the biggest one that we see as just money mismanagement. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Well, you're exactly right. And another thing is your children are watching you, and they're watching everything that you do, and you know, you really want to lead by example.
That's true.
Yes.
That's
Lead by
a good
example.
one.
So.
Yeah, that's a good one. I know a lot of kids, if they, like you said, you need to learn what the coins and the dollars are, and we don't see a lot of money now because everything is either online or it's with a debit or a credit card. Sometimes dealing with actual money is good. Maybe it's how you need to start, saving your coins and spending and things like that. And setting a budget. Are there resources just online to learn how to do that?
I did find a great website. It's thebalance.com, and it's got some great resources and information out there, and you can search anything if you want to search teaching children to save, or you know, it's just got a lot of great information for anyone, for adults to teach children, or if they just want to learn a little bit themselves.
Oh, that's great. Well, I know you probably are looking at places to go to share your information to the schools, bridges, after-school programs, and you're available. Can they just call you at the bank? Or?
They can call us anytime, and we will be there. We will make our calendar available for anyone that would love for us to come.
That's great. I tell you, I thank you so much for being here today and learning a lot. I've learned a lot today about what to do. Maybe my children haven't messed up too bad. They're already grown, but they're still learning. I think we're all still learning about money, but I appreciate it. So if you need some help, I know Donna and Russell at Renasant, they're glad to help you and love to come talk. Please come by the library sometime. Any of our books, these Money as You Grow bookshelf with the handouts the handouts are for parents to keep, so we'd love for you to come and be involved in part of that. In our STEAM kits available for homeschool parents and school teachers, a great way to teach money with games, to teach money, budgeting, things like that. And the website you said,
Thebalance.com.
Thebalance.com, to help you learn about budgeting money and how to teach your children. And remember, like we said, they're never too young, and we're never too old to learn. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was our pleasure.
And thank you for joining me on Library Connection.